just got off of X2 in the front row. That was my first ever 4D coaster. That was insane. X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain is an aerodynamics fourth-dimensional roller coaster that opened in 2002 or 2001, really depending on who you ask, but we'll get into that a little bit later. With a max height of 175 feet, a max drop of 215 feet, a max speed of 76 miles an hour, a track length of 3,610 feet of track, and a maximum vertical angle of drop at 88.5 degrees. This came back in the peak years of Six Flags when they were touting Magic Mountain as quote-unquote the extreme park, adding 2 new giant roller coasters in the year 2001. However, both of them didn't really seem to open perfectly that year. The first was Vue. This was a prototype Vekoma giant inverted boomerang roller coaster that also opened 2 clones of it at other Six Flags parks in the same year, and the one at Magic Mountain didn't go over too well. It had tons of maintenance issues and ended up opening super late in the year. However, that being a prototype was nothing compared to the prototype opening on the other side of the park, what was then known as X. Built by American manufacturer Aerodynamics, this hulking fourth-dimension roller coaster would be the first 4D coaster ever built, with a price tag upwards of $40 million US. That was absurd for a coaster now, and at that time, that was absolutely unheard of for anybody except for Disney. As far as I know, this would not just be the first coaster to have seating on the outer edges of the track, this would be the first roller coaster ever to have seats that flip on a vertical axis throughout the ride. Alright, so now let's get through the experience of X2. As you're walking up to the coaster, at least for me, it was pretty difficult to find. It might have just been because it was like 110 degrees and I was very discombobulated, or that I was a first-timer at the park, but either way, I had to ask a couple of employees on how to get to this ride's entrance. However, when you do, you pass under a very menacing entrance sign and enter the queue line. One thing, if you have Flash Pass, just beware, you can only get one ride on this incredible coaster, which is super unfortunate. The wait for Flash Pass was about half an hour, which was alright, but nonetheless, it's kind of annoying that if you pay $150 a person, you can only get one ride on arguably the best ride at this Southern California theme park. Not a ride issue, but a Six Flags issue for sure. As you dispatch from X2's station, you go into a slow left-handed turn and up your lift hill. As you listen to Enter Sandman by Metallica, your car starts bobbing up and down a little bit until you finally crest the lift and go into your first drop. You stare at this drop face down, making it one of the best first drops in the world, and at the bottom you even do a little flip, which sends you upside down. After that, you enter a Raven turn, which really doesn't do too much for me, and it goes by as a bit of a blur because you're recovering from that incredible first drop. You then rise up over a camelback, which flips you upside down once again, which is an absolutely fantastic sensation. Then you go over a slow overbank turn, which doesn't do too much, but it's just preparing you for the epic finale. You go flipping upside down once again as the track goes from above you to under you, and then you go into this ride's finale. An incredibly intense, super aggressive Raven turn that sends you flipping upside down one last time as you twist up into the final brake run. I know this coaster, for a lot of people, is super polarizing. Either you love it or you hate it. Some people find this ride to be so uncomfortably rough that they just absolutely detest from riding this coaster, and others love it, and I know some people that it's actually their #1 roller coaster overall. But no doubt from me that this roller coaster is incredible and definitely one of my favorites. I know that a lot of people complain about this ride's smoothness, and it definitely helped that I was in the front row. However, I didn't find this coaster to be rough or uncomfortable at all. The restraints didn't bother me, and I actually really liked how they were set up, so even on some of those janky aero transitions, you don't get any headbanging. Instead, you just get to enjoy the absolutely insane nature and flipping of this one-of-a-kind in America roller coaster. Opening as just X, this coaster would only tout that name for 5 years, when in 2007 the park closed this ride for an extended refurbishment. They hired S&S to give this coaster all new trains featuring slightly different restraints, and these trains were a lot lighter, increasing the longevity of this coaster. They also repainted it from pink and yellow to a dark gray and red, much more fitting for this style of ride, and changed the name from just X to X2. I unfortunately never got to ride the original X, as when that coaster closed for its massive transformation to become X2 on December 2nd, 2007, I hadn't even been born yet. But it seems like this transformation from X into X2 only helped this ride, and it remained X2 still to this day, and is still one of the most popular and definitely one of the best rides at this Southern Californian theme park. For a final score, it will be receiving a 10 out of 10. This coaster is not perfect, however, for what it strives to be, it does that absolutely flawlessly, and it sits comfortably inside of my top 10 roller coasters overall. It's not my favorite coaster in California, nor is it my favorite coaster at the park, as I barely prefer Twisted Colossus. However, I would take this as the second best coaster in all of Southern California, barely edging out Ghost Rider over at Knott's Berry Farm. However, Ghost Rider, this, and Twisted Colossus are all directly back to each other in my rankings, so that just shows how close they are. Anyways, what do you guys think of X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave it a like rating, and subscribe for more roller coaster and theme park content just like this on Hangtime Thrills. I'll catch you guys next time.